Back again today to talk to you about how you can access Sora to get ebooks and audiobooks right there on your Chromebooks. So what Sora is basically that's like a digital library where you can check ebooks and audiobooks out. You can read them on your computer, and then when it's done, you can return them to get more or different books out. Now, today I'm going to talk to you about how you can get to it, what are the steps you have to take in order to get into it, as well as when you get there, how you can check a book or ebook out, and as well as any other things that you might need to know if you are using Sora. So, to start off on getting there, I have included a link on the library Symbaloo that I have under Smith Library Resources and Tools under Library Tools in your Classworks tab. Now what you're going to do is when you click in, you're going to click on the Smith Library links, and then when you get here, you're going to see that it is right here underneath the library catalog, the green box, and it should say Sora, and it's going to look like a little guy flying in space. Now, once you click in, this is where it can get a little different depending on where you are or what you're doing. So I'm going to try and take you through each different step to make sure that if we know how to do it, then we can quickly go through it. All right, so the first one is that when you get here, it's going to ask you if your school is O2C BOCES. Now, either it will say this or find my school. Now, if it says my school is O2C BOCES, you can just click on that, and it will bring you to this screen where it's asking you to sign into your school. Now, that's the quick way, but sometimes you need to find your school. So if it doesn't say O2C BOCES or it hasn't found your school, you have to click not your school, so switch school. Now it's going to bring up all the different schools in the area. Now, unfortunately, Smith does not appear to be on this part of the list. So in order to get to it, you have to click at the bottom part where the cloud says, my school isn't listed. You click on that, it's going to bring you to a bar to type in which school you're going to. Now, this is important because you can't just say Smith because there's another school named Smith that's in Texas. So in order to get just Smith Intermediate School that is in Cortland, you have to type in Smith space and the letter I. And that should only bring up Smith Intermediate School and O2C BOCES. Click on This is my school, and then it will bring you right to the same page as if we clicked on my school's O2C BOCES. So when you sign to your school, you're going to click on the drop-down menu, and you're just going to scroll down right to where it says Cortland City School District. It's in alphabetical order, and it is the last C right above the derider in the D section. When you click on that, you're going to sign in using the Cortland City School District button that's at the bottom. Now, if you did everything correctly, this should bring you right to the screen, and you are going to sign in with Google. And when you do sign in, it should bring you to either this page that we have coming up, which is your home page, or it's going to take you to Explore. So as long as it comes up to here, you should be fine. Now, when you're looking in Sora, in order to find a book, you're going to have to hit the Explore button at the bottom. So this is going to bring you to the page that's going to let you look for your books. Now, one way you can search is by subject. So you can hit Explore all subjects to see what all the different books are in Sora. So there's all sorts of ones depending on whatever subject we're trying to find. For instance, we have comic and graphic novels. And when you click on that, it brings up all the graphic novels we have in Sora. Now, another one that you'll probably use is the search bar right here at the top where it says search for a book. So if you type something in, you can hit the search button and it'll bring up all the ones that you have been writing down. Now, the one thing that I will say about Sora is that it's not just for grades 3 to 4, it's for grades K through 12. So there are going to be books in here that are both easier and some books that are harder for this grade level. So one way that you can make sure you're looking for books that are at your grade level is hitting the advanced search right here. And when it comes up, you'll see that there's all different ways that you can search. So you can also use the title searches we've been using. You can use an author search. And of course, you can also type at the top which subject or something that you want to search by. And there's different filters that you can use to tell the computer to look for certain ebooks. So you can click Format, which will look for either audiobooks or ebooks, as opposed to either one. You can look for the text difficulty. Now, this is what I would recommend. So it has all the grades here. And I could choose grade 4 if I want to. I can choose grade 3. Or if I want a small selection, I can choose a few at a time. So I can choose grade 3, 4, and I can choose grade 5 if I want to go a little ahead. And underneath, I also have options for available books, which would be books that are currently here right now, as opposed to being checked out. Because, like I said, this is a digital library, and it works like it because when you find a book, you can borrow it. And after a certain amount of time, it comes back. So let's say I want to search for cats. So I typed in cats. I use the text difficulty. And let's say I want to find just an ebook. I click on search. And you can see here it has all the different search parameters that I use. So such as I use cats. It's looking for grades 3, 4, and 5. And it's only showing ebooks. And you can click on a few of these other ones if you want to narrow things down right here as well. So right now it's showing 30 ebooks, and I can see a number of them that are here. Now, if they're here, they'll have a borrow icon next to them. And if they're checked out, they'll have a hold icon. So you can look through everything, and when you find something that you want to place a hold on, so if you place a hold on something, that just means that you're going to have to wait a little bit. And because of that, so depending on how popular it is, it might be maybe a week or two, or it might be even longer time. Because I've seen the Harry Potter books are out quite a number out often. But if you want a book now, just go back to Explore. If I go back, if I see a book that says borrow next to it, I can click in. I can see all the information about this book. So for instance, I can see if it's an ebook or audiobook, what series it's a part of, the author's name, the illustrator, the levels it's at, as well as the subjects I can search for. So right now it's in fantasy and juvenile fiction. So if, for instance, I was looking at a book and it was out, I could try looking at some of these other subjects to see if it's if I can find another book that I want. Now, when I want to get a book, I can hit borrow. And when I hit borrow, it'll be available for me to read. So much like a normal book, I can either use my arrow keys to go from left to right, flipping through the book. I can use my finger to swipe if I have a touch screen. And if I need to either close out the book or use some of the other options available, I would just click towards the bottom of this book and it'll bring up the little menu here. So it can show me where I am at the book and all the other tools. So one of the things I would do is at 3 lines over here, you can use reading settings to change up how you want things to look. So you can choose the text scale, make it smaller, or make it larger. You can also change the background color if you feel like this will help you when you're reading. So you can change up the color, the contrast to make sure that you'll be able to see it better. And there's other options available too if you want to take a look through them. Now, so when you're done, you can hit the X button here. Now, while you're in, you can see that I still have the icon for the book at the bottom. So if I need to quickly go back, I can just pop that up. Or, again, I can hit close when I want to move out. Now, all my books are going to be available in my shelf. So that's another icon down at the bottom. So on my shelf, it can show me my list of loans, so all the books I have out. My holds, I have my lists for, let's see, I have wish lists and other lists that I can use to let me know, and my history. So if, say, I want to look for a particular book that I have checked out before, I can go through my selection to try and find it again. Now, audiobooks will work similarly when you try to check them out. So if I try to open an audiobook, it will have a similar format, but instead of swiping across, you have to hit play, and you can change the minutes that you're at, because depending on what you're looking at, it might be exact at the chapter you want, or maybe you might go back or go forward. You can use the functions on the side to look for either like your bookmarks, which you can make with this little icon, or chapters. So it goes right to the point where each chapter starts. And again, when you're done, you hit close. And you can also hit shelf down at the bottom if you ever want to just head right back there. Now, so when you're checking things out, you can check out anything in Sora. You can check up to 3 items for 2 weeks. So if you get 3 items, then you're going to have to return something in order to get something else out. So you can either wait out all 14 days, but if you really want to get something else, I recommend when you're finished, you click on the book. It brings up the options for you. So you can either open the book here, you can renew it, which happens if you're closer towards the end, or you can return it so you can get something else out. And when I return it, it frees up a spot for me to check something else out. Now, one last thing that I think you'll find interesting is in the Me tab at the bottom, you can see your profile and achievements. So you might see different achievements depending on what you do. So if you first started off, you might see the badge blast off. And when you check out a book, you'll get a badge for that as well. And there's more that come up depending on what actions you do in Sora. So maybe you could explore a few and see what is available. All right, so that should be the basic overview of everything that we have in Sora. Now, if you have any questions, feel free to email me. My email is on the Google Classroom, and I will continue to do my best to help all of you out. So I hope you definitely take advantage of this, because it is a great place to look for our books, especially if we're in school or if we're remote learning. It can be a great place to find maybe a book that we don't have, or someplace we can regularly go to find books that will interest us. So I hope that you all take advantage of this, because it will be a great tool for you to find things you want to read. Have a good day, my friends, and I will see you next time.